My name is Peter Holbrook and I'm the Chief Executive of the Social Enterprise Coalition, which is the UK representative body for social enterprises in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland.
Great. And could you tell us what is the hottest thing in social enterprise in the UK these days, and any comparisons you care to make with what's happening in the US?
Okay. Well, I think probably the biggest area of growth that we're expecting to see is in social enterprises coming in to transform the way that we deliver public services. We've obviously got a very large welfare state in the UK. Things like the National Health Service are part of that. And what we recognise is that despite putting ever increasing resources into it, actually productivity is diminishing, and so we have to look at ways with ever increasing demands and an ageing population as to how we can transform the way that we deliver care for the most vulnerable people in our society. And what we understand is, and the evidence is now supporting this, is that social enterprise has a significant role to play in terms of empowering staff to act entrepreneurially and to deliver services that they know that work, that previously they've been unable to change or transform because of the huge weight of government bureaucracy that sits above them. And so the right to request is a piece of UK policy now which exists in the Department of Health, so throughout the NHS, whereby practitioners can come out of the public sector. They have a right to request to move out of the public sector. Their salaries, their terms and conditions are guaranteed, as is their ability to deliver a contract for up to 3 years, and they in effect form their own social enterprise and deliver back on behalf of the state in a much improved way. And where we've seen this work, we've seen recidivism rates, so re-offending rates for offenders, where the state have been intervening, running at 60 to 80%. Where social enterprises have been delivering, we've managed to see recidivism rates drop to 20%. In adult social care, we've seen costs halve and patient experience improve. And this has really gained a great deal of political interest. And we have this pan-party political agreement that social enterprise must be at the heart of transforming the way we deliver services. It's about participation, empowerment, innovation and enterprise. I think that's one of the big issues coming out of the UK. I think that all of the developed world are going to be facing increasing problems in terms of managing ill health and increasing levels of inequality, and that creates a whole series of issues. And I think people will be looking to the UK just to see how we get on, and if we can demonstrate impact and cost effectiveness, then I'm sure that Australia, the US, Canada, some of the other advanced social enterprise nations will be looking to see how they can replicate this model. So I think that not only does it build public confidence that actually the motive in delivery is not profit, it's about quality.
Right.
That's a really important thing to build that public confidence if we're going to break into these markets. I also think it's about actually being quite clear about how we define what a social enterprise is. And so the other big thing is the launch of our identifier, our social enterprise mark, which validates bona fide social enterprises and tries to ensure that other organisations aren't appearing wearing sheep's clothing, wolves in sheep's clothing. So the mark and the identifier is a way of defining our movement, and that's perhaps for many long overdue, but equally as contentious, because it means that some that think that they are perhaps won't meet the criteria and will be outside of the camp. That's inevitable. And secondly, I think this huge growth in social enterprises helping to deliver public services more effectively and with quality at their heart.
Well said. Any quick observations on what's happening in the UK versus what's happening in the US, as diplomatically or undiplomatically as you
to be quite honest, I think that, for example, with the election of Obama, I think we all expected, given his background in community organising, that this would be a huge opportunity for social enterprise to grow massively. And actually, from what I've seen so far, it's much more around community development, and it's missing the enterprise element. And the only way you can actually sustain community development programs is through linking those values of community development into a culture of enterprise. And it was great to meet someone from the US government today that's been appointed by Obama to try and convince her actually that there are other ways of doing things, and actually there is a lot of learning that can be and sharing actually that can be done between the UK and the US, and I'm sure they'll be looking to see how we get on. And I very, very much hope that we get an opportunity to influence the US government so that they can actually learn from what has happened and has been happening in the UK over the last 5 or 6 years. Because we have somehow had a breakthrough moment in the UK, and I'm sure that's just around the corner for you guys here in the US too.
We hope. Thank you very much, Peter.
You're welcome.